What has happened? I must go and see. Oh, no, you must not go. Don't be alarmed. I will return immediately. But I do not see how I could have gained the cross in the affair. Stop a minute. The next morning, they found the Jew's horse dead under the bridge of Weckham. And 100 yards further on, his green cloak and his fur cap, deeply stained with blood. As to what became of the Jew himself, to this day has never been discovered. But was no inquiry instituted? Inquiry? I should think there was, but it all came to nothing. But surely suspicion fell on someone. Oh, suspicion. The gendarmes are never short of suspicion in such cases. It fell on two brothers who had an old bear and two big dogs that they took about with them to fairs. Report was that they had caused the Jew to be eaten by the dogs. The brothers were arrested, and it would have gone hard with the poor devils if Mathias had not interested himself in their case, and they were discharged after being in prison 15 months, and their animals had been slaughtered. I was sure of it. Sozel, the useless maid, had left the windows in the kitchen open, and now every pane of glass in them is broken. Oh, the stupid girl. Oh, Christian, one of your gendarmes, Fritz, wishes to speak to you outside. I asked him to come in, but it is on some matter of duty. Ah, good. I know what it is. You will return, Christian. In a few moments, Annette, in a few moments. Ah, there goes a manly young fellow. Yes, Mathias is fortunate to find so good a son-in-law. But everything has succeeded with Mathias for the last 15 years. He was comparatively poor then, and now he is one of the richest men in the village, and the burgomaster. Well, he deserves all the success he has achieved. Ah, at last, here he is. Tis I, at last, heaven be praised. Bah, what a snowstorm. I was obliged to leave the carriage at Weckham. It will be brought over tomorrow. Ah, me darling. Let me help you. How good of you not to stop away. Do you know, we were getting quite anxious about you. So I thought, Catherine. Ah, Father Walter and Hans, you'll have nice weather to go home in. Oh, don't touch the dear. It's nasty and wet. I'll do it. We thought perhaps your cousin Both had detained you. Yes, Both would make me stop to see some performance in the town. A performance? He was a Parisian who did the most extraordinary tricks. He sent people to sleep. Sent people to sleep? Yes, fast asleep. Fast asleep. Oh, he gave them something to drink, no doubt. No, he didn't do that. He simply looked at them and made some signs. Ah, the Brigadier Stenger was telling me about it the other day. This Parisian sends people to sleep and he makes them tell everything that weighs upon their conscience. Annette. Yes, Father? Look in the big pocket of my coat. What is it, Father? Open the box. Oh, Father. Oh, how pretty. That's me wedding present, Annette. Thank you, dear Father. My only hope is to see you happy with Christian. And now for supper. And some wine. Poulter, Hans, stay and have a glass of wine with me. With pleasure, Burgomaster. Aye, thank ye kindly. Here's your health. Yours, Burgomaster. Aye, yours.
Where's Christian? Hasn't he been here this evening?
Oh, yes, they came to fetch him, but he will return presently. Some duty he had to perform in the Hovald in the capture of some smugglers.
Hovald! Whoa! Nice weather for such business as that.
Yes, we were talking about that. We were telling Christian we hadn't seen such severe weather as this since what is called the Polish Jews' winter.
Oh, you were talking about that, were you? The bells! The bells! Don't you hear the sound of sleigh bells on the road?
Sleigh bells? Sleigh bells? No. What's the matter, Mathias? You're cold, you're ill.
No, I'm well.
Yes, indeed you are. Some warm wine will restore you. Come, Annette, come. We'll warm some wine by the kitchen fire. Come quickly. Come along, Hans. We'll go and see after the horse. Why, Hans, it's just upon the stroke of 10. So it is. 10 o'clock, I declare.
Good night.
Good night, Burgomaster. Good night, Burgomaster. Come along, Walter. We must go and look at the horse. It's a long way. I know.
No one on the road. No one. What is this jangling in my ears? The very night, the very hour. I feel a darkness coming over me. A giddiness seizes me. Shall I call for help? No. Courage, Mathias, courage. The Jew is dead. Dead. It's nothing. The wind and the cold have overcome me. It's nothing. Toucan. Moose.
My God, Irving, you've done me proud.
Toucan.
I even forgive you for changing me script.
Oh, really?
I was on tenterhooks, I don't mind telling you. I wondered if those damn bells would ever make an entrance. Bravo, old chap, we're made for life.
Are we?
Good show, Irving. Good show.
Toucan.
A moment of your time, ladies and gentlemen, if you please. Tonight, my friends, you have witnessed the greatest English actor of the age. And anyone that wants to disagree with that has me, Colonel Bateman, to answer to. I'll see you later. I don't mind letting you good folks into a little secret. I was on the point of throwing up the lease of this theater and going back home to the States. But after witnessing Mr. Irving's performance tonight, I think I can safely say the future of this great house is assured. Good Henry, I thought that supper party would never end. There you sat basking in your great triumph with all your theatrical cronies fawning round you, and you never gave me a thought once, not even a glance.
Florence, that's unkind of ya. I was exhausted.
Have you forgotten I'm carrying our second child? I've hardly seen you for the past month. That wretched play means more to you than your wife and family.
But dearest, it was important to get it right. Attention to detail, you know. And it paid off, did it not? We have a veritable success on our hands. Our future prospects are now more assured than ever before. Don't you recall what Keane said to his wife after triumphing at last at Drury Lane? Mary, you shall ride in your carriage. Well, my dear, we two shall soon have our own carriage and pair.
Henry, are you going on making a fool of yourself like this all your life?
Driver, stop the carriage.
Very good, sir. Henry, what are you doing? Henry, where are you going? Henry, speak to me. Henry, I'm your wife. You can't leave me here like this. Henry. And he never spoke to her again. Oh, I see. So the play was the thing for him then. The Fulham studio of Irish poet and painter William Gorman Wills, who is also the resident playwright at the Lyceum Theatre. We find him having trouble with his wig.
Come along now, not today. I've got so much to do. Now, girl, play the game. Give it me back.
It'll cost you, sir.
You're telling me you did that. That it did, an arm and a leg. That wig. Now give it here. I've Mr. Irving and Colonel Bateman from the Lyceum calling on me this night to discuss the play. And he wants to look me best for him. No more of this. Come on, let's be having it.
What a laugh!
By the Lord Harry, if she wasn't the landlady's daughter, that's better. I can think again now. Hurry up, lad, with the steps. I needs to get us starts on the big canvas. And while you're about it, get your writing materials. I need to dictate to you the last scene of the Lyceum play before the gentlemen arrive. Now, are you ready there, lad? Refresh me memory, if you please.
Act 3, the Battle of Naseby, sir. The treacherous Earl of Moray has just delivered King Charles I into the hands of his enemies, the Roundheads.
Oh, yes. Move me along a bit. I want that corner, right now. This'll be the climax, the culmination. I've got it. Are you ready, lad? Mark, Charles turns to the treacherous Earl, his betrayer, and says, I saw a picture once by a great master. It was an old man's head, narrow and evil was its wrinkled front, eyes closed and cunning, a dull vulpine smile. Ah, yes, yes. Ah, I see a estimable playwright is in the grip of the creative muse. Well, let him finish. Aye. Cunning dull vulpine smile. 'Twas called a Judas. Why'd that painter erred? Judas had eyes like thine, of candid blue. Bravo, Wells! I like it well. Ah, Mr. Irving, Colonel Bateman, I didn't seize you there. How'd you like that for a finish, eh, Mr. Irving, sir? Charles shows his contempt for the spineless traitor Murray in a cool, calm, yet deadly manner. And as Charles is led away, the curtain falls.
Hold on there, Wells. I'm not so sure. This is meant to be a domestic tragedy. I don't see no family there.
With all due respect to your colonel, we're on a bloody battlefield. You's hardly likely to see the Queen and the little ones prancing around. And Wills did give us a charming scene of domestic bliss in Act 1.
I know. And all very fine and touching it was too. But I want to balance that with a final scene of Charles surrounded by his family on the eve of his execution. I want to keep the politics out of this. I have the punters to consider.
Well, Colonel, you've quite blown the wind out of me sails. It's hardly dramatic.
Come on, Irving. Think of something.
If you insist. Tricky. By the way, Wills, how's that young cousin of yours? What's his name? Oscar. How's he coming along? Ah, to be sure, he has the making of a scribbler like me, but I believe he'll be a wild one.
I've got it. You finish it off like the last act of Black-Eyed Susan. Prayer book, chain and all. What? What did I say?
Wills, me boy, are ye hurt? No, I'll be all right in a minute. Where's me wig? But I thought Black-Eyed Susan was some tawdry melodrama. It is, by old Gerald, a regular crowd pleaser. I played the villain, Captain Crosstrees, many a time in me Edinburgh days. But you know, Bateman might be onto something.
Thank you, Henry.
You see, in the final scene of Black-Eyed Susan, Will, the young Jack Tar, unjustly condemned to death by the evil Captain Crosstrees, takes a touching farewell from his sweetheart, the eponymous heroine of the piece, Black-Eyed Susan, before he is led off to execution. I see. Now, we can put Charles in the same situation. A touching farewell scene with his queen and his children. Right. I'm with you, gentlemen. I think we can make something of it. Yes. The morning of the king's execution. Much weeping by the queen and the two royal children.
Mrs. Bateman, is it not pleasing to see our daughter Isabel in a role that suits her talents at last?
Yes, my dear, but I fear those tears may be all too real. Of all our daughters we have launched on the boards, she seems the least inclined for the life. And she still loves Henry, Nonsense, my dear.
The Roundhead soldiers enter. As he accompanies them on his final journey, he pauses at the door of the chamber and says to his grieving family just one word. Remember. Excellent.
By George, that'll grab him.
Bateman, my dear friend, we have a weekend at our disposal. Knowing your penchant for a spot of deep-sea fishing, how would it take you if you, Mrs. B and the girls, joined me for the weekend in Margate?
Oh, don't take on so, Isabel.
Mamma, look! Their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Wales, have just entered the royal box. Oh, let's see. So they have. And look here, dear. Here comes Mr. Disraeli, the Prime Minister. And look, Mr. Gladstone, his rival, is coming the other way. What fun! Mr. Gladstone is the number one Irvingite these days. He's probably making his way backstage. He can hear better from there. That's interesting. Cardinal Manning is in the audience. Mr. Irving will be pleased. He is most eager to receive the blessing of established religion for his theatrical pursuits. Oh, how interesting. Oh, look, there are so many lords and ladies here, aren't there, Mamma? Your observation is quite correct, my dear. And the finest practitioners of all the arts are well represented too. Look, there's the dashing painter, Sir Frederick Leighton, President of the Royal Academy. Oh, let's see. Oh, and great poet Tennyson. Oh, and there's Sir Garnet Wolseley. Talking of military men, where's your father? Oh, here he comes now, looking all hot and bothered. There you are, dear. What's kept you?
Oh, my God, what a crash.
It's like the black hole of Calcutta in that foyer. Well, it is an Irving first night, my love. What a fusspot you are. You've been rubbing shoulders with the cream of society out there. I'd rather be in me club. What's that, dearest?
Nothing. What are we in for tonight, anyway?
Hamlet.
Oh, my God, that's one of Will Shakespeare's, ain't it? The bloody bard.
Honestly, Algernon, you're such a Philistine.
But, me dear, if my memory serves me correctly, we've seen it before.
You are quite right, husband. We saw Mr. Irving's first interpretation of the role when the late Mr. Bateman still managed the Lyceum. In fact, I saw it over 20 times.
That's one thing your father never mentioned when I asked for your hand. A family trait of inherent lunacy.
Ah, but now Mr. Irving is in sole charge of the Lyceum after Mrs. Bateman generously handed over the lease of the theatre to him. He can bring in his own people now. Look, there's Mr. Stoker, the new house manager. Such a clever man. Mr. Irving brought him over from Dublin. He's sizing up the state of tonight's house. He looks like he's like to bleed us to death. And at last Mr. Irving has been able to engage the entrancing Miss Ellen Terry to play Ophelia to his Hamlet, now that the Bateman girls are no longer with the company. Whee! Henry!
Oh, Ellen, me dear.
What do you think? What? Oh, you silly. My costume. I want our first Hamlet together to be very special. And as you seem reluctant to rehearse with me, I thought I'd spend the time devising a striking and original costume for Ophelia's mad scene. Voila! It's black. Must fetchin. But wouldn't white have been more appropriate, Nell? Oh, but Ophelia's always... And Henry, when can we rehearse our scenes together?
Don't worry, Ellen, don't worry. We shall be right. We shall be right.
But... Miss Terry, you look a bit down. I was showing Henry my new costume for Ophelia's mad scene, but he didn't seem to... You didn't really think that you were going to wear black in this scene? Yes, I did. And why not? Why not, madam? My God! There must be only one black figure in this play, and that's Mr. Irving's Hamlet. When are these damn Yatsbos going to get started? By the way, dear, is this a long or a short one? The last time I saw it by Irving, 5.5 hours. God. Oh, the house lights are dimming. Bother! I can't read my program anymore. I'm not sure I like this newfangled idea of Mr. Irving's to watch the play in the dark. It means you can't read when it gets boring. Amanda! Mr. Irving is never boring. If you say so, Mamma. I do. Aha! The musical director, Mr. Hamilton Clark, has entered the pit. We are about to begin.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no farther.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit. List, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh God!
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul.